It's only a few months old, but I hard rebooted it. I did all kinds of stuff. I'm in Japan, so now I have to get I had to call Apple, get an English speaker, and then no Apple store here in Inaka, so they set me up with someplace 40 minutes away at some La La Land mall in Shizuoka, so I'm gonna bring it there. So, Hubby! He's not there, he's out taking care of his mom.
They're getting the booster shot. Oh my God.
How did you get here so fast? Oh! How did you get here so fast? Very windy day today.
Doors are closing. Doors are opening.
You get coffee, I'll have this. Yeah, oh yeah. You can have some of mine. Look at that cute little face, so pretty.
From the harbor to the highland, it's a source of inspiration. Sail across the seaways, fly through the airways. It seems like we can touch heaven. Get dreaming under the dearest sun, running down the boardwalk. Our imagination spread across every ocean.
Wow, oh, look at yours. And mine. So, it's warm. I tax yours, huh? It's like a coffee. About $10. The store are cute. Everything is so cute in the store. Death sauce. Did I tell you? Glittery it is.
And a shout out to Anila from the Vibe Project. I know you adore cute Japanese stationery and such, so I thought about you while I filmed this part. And if any viewer here is interested in interesting mystical articles and such, I'll post the links to the Vibe project in the info section beneath this video. Y'all be sure to check it out now. Thank you. That's just crackers. I already got it. I got the mini one. I saw him looking at sweets. Oh, that's for summer on a weekend sometime. It's so cute. Kawaii.
Natcha. It's called natcha.
What's that mean? It looks like orange drink.
Natcha means no person's name.
It means what?
Name.
What kind of drink is it?
Oh.
Mmm, oishishou.
So sweet.
Oh, that's why I split it with you. Hawaiian food. This one, number 3, Sanban. Wow. I want the Hawaiian lemonade. What do you want to drink? Oh, this is 7. You gotta wait for our favorite.
This is so heavy.
No.
Yes.
Arigato ne. Wow. You can help me eat mine then. Mmm. Mmm. Oh my God. I think mine is good. I can't help it. Food envy. I want to try it.
Just
Sure? Oh,
mix.
not bad. Yours is very small. You can have some of mine, honey. Wow. Oops. I actually tried to record this the other night a time or two, but it just didn't quite click, so I let it go. A couple nights ago, I had a dream. I was trying to boil some oil in a big pot on the stove. I had filled the oil to the top of the pot, and I thought, this is wonderful. It's abundantly filled. But then I realized, once I start to deep fry some food with the oil, if it's filled that high, the oil's gonna splash out and it could be dangerous. So I started to take some cups and remove the excess oil from the pot. All of a sudden, the big pot instantly became a small pot, but then all the excess oil spilled all over the floor. So I started to clean all the oil up from the floor, and it seemed overwhelming because oil can be so difficult to clean. But it was easy. It was like cleaning a little bit of water off the floor. So what did this dream mean? The late mystic Neville Goddard sometimes looked at dreams, and he was also good at interpreting them, although he has said many people are masters of misinterpretation. And dreams do tend to be symbolic versus literal, though of course not always the case. And Neville also taught that dreams often have a single jet stream of truth. In a way, mystics teach the life that we live, that we call reality, is also a dream, just longer. They either call it the dream of life or a wake dream, and that in the wake dream we have a dream within a dream, called the night dream. So what I'm telling you is the night dream, and in a sense I'm telling it to you from the wake dream. But the interesting thing is that sometimes in the night dream, It can show us a reflection of our consciousness, of future things to come in our wake dream. So if you don't like your night dreams, it can kind of clue you into things you might not realize are in your subconscious, especially if you don't pay attention to your thoughts day to day and start to realize the dwelling place of where your thoughts revolve around. Do they revolve around peace and joy, or fear and anger? What seeds are being planted, nurtured, that will harvest in what you call your future? I personally don't pay attention to most dreams unless something about it really stands out to me, like this one. Now, the interesting thing also is I recently stopped cooking fried foods because even though I love fried foods, I felt it was too much of a pain to clean up. And instead, if I want something fried, I just go to a restaurant on the weekend. And most of the fried foods I love, I can get at restaurants. It tastes just as good, if not better. So I knew this dream wouldn't be literal, because I'm not at my parents' kitchen, as I was in the dream, and I don't fry foods anymore at home. I got rid of the fryer, in fact, so it was symbolic. When I asked myself, what could this be symbolic for? And I allow myself, I'm open. I realize the fried food is like my husband. But even though I love the fried food, I don't like to deal with the cleanup. It's too much of a pain. And then I realized lately I've been thinking, I really love my husband and our life in Japan. Time to time there are some challenges, the differences between man and woman, differences of one of us growing up in the US and the other in Japan, and sometimes it can prove to be challenging. But overall, we have such a great love for each other, and I'm so happy in Japan. And he seems very happy with the life we live together as well. But I would love just to have the good times and to not have any misunderstandings or challenges. Just like I would love to have the fried foods, but without having to deal with the cleanup. So in the dream, when the pot was too full of oil, I tried to remove it as one would do in Caesar's world to make an effort. But then all of a sudden, the big pot became a small pot. That could only happen in imagination. I believe this is symbolic, that I do practice imagining what I do want. But also in Caesar's world, I also do continue to make an effort where I feel is right to, and I can. So the result in the night dream was a bit of a mess. And I would say that's symbolic of trying to go at something with two different extremes. One, pure imagination. Another, Caesar's world, limited. But you know, we're only human. We've lived so many years believing certain things, living a certain way. And we read these mystical truths and they totally resonate. And we go to apply them, but sometimes we fall back to the old familiar way. And we might not even realize it. But that's okay, it's part of the process. We're all promised to finally get it, to awake, whether this wake dream or another wake dream. But why not this one? And same, when all the oil spilled on the floor, and I was using Caesar's world to clean it up with tissues, and I reacted. I felt this is going to be such a pain, but it was easy. Only in imagination, cleaning up such a huge oil spill would be so easy. Even Neville said, for the most part of his life, he never said he was a master of his imagination. Sometimes you hear the news, you react. Sometimes you hear the gossip, before you know it, you react. And enough of these things, unchallenged with the opposite feeling, might find their own birth as a harvest. So the symbolism I feel is in this dream, even though I continue to react in a way I probably would not want to perpetuate. Because who wouldn't think that a huge amount of oil spilled on a floor wouldn't be hard to clean? But really, in imagination, it can be easy. Now, if while this oil spilled, and in the night dream I reacted that this is going to be a pain to clean, why did it become so easy? And I think this is symbolic, that I do have my imaginal sessions. I practice most days. But time to time, I sometimes still do react to things in Caesar's world and things I might not want to perpetuate. It just happens. Because I'm not paying attention to the thoughts going in my head, or they just feel so strong, it just happens. But because I also do continue to read mystical works, and I also do test out my imagination, and continue to imagine for things I want, I think the dream symbolically shows nothing's in vain. You can start to see the results from imagining in the daily life, even though at times I still continue to react. Hello? Just checking if you're still with me. So for me, the single jet stream of truth would be, don't beat yourself up. you've been sleeping for a long time in the dream of the human experience. But now that you have these mystical truths, continue to marinate in them and to practice and build that imaginal muscle. So no matter what mistake you might feel you make, don't worry. In the end, a properly developed imagination has your back. But it could make for some interesting scenarios as the two sometimes might clash. But keep your eye on the vision, the end goal, and surely, no matter what happens, you will hit your aim. Bullseye. You must believe no matter what, for deep down we know in our soul, nothing's in vain. We just might not see the whole picture yet. Of course, we all want to do it in this lifetime, this dream of life, but mystics have pointed since ancient times to modern, and most of us probably feel it too. We're beyond this lifetime, we're eternal, and yet we're also individual, and yet though we may feel so individual, there's also a oneness. Another thing about the dream is, when I first filled the pot, I thought it was so wonderful when I filled the oil to the top, but then I realized, if I'm going to fry food, once this oil starts to boil, that could be dangerous. And I think that's just part of Caesar's world when we go about imagining for the things we want. We think, oh, this will be wonderful. Especially someone wants something very specific. But as you start to sometimes learn to detach, to be able to see the greater picture, to be able to have more clarity, what is it you truly want? What would really make you happy? Maybe in the end we really do find, as mystics teach, that take all the most wonderful feelings you've ever felt, combine them all, and that's your natural feeling within. If you felt that way, and you are beyond the limitations of a body and mind, what is there to want? Except for to joyfully, lucidly dream the dream of life, so you don't forget and fall asleep and fall into nightmares. But regardless, you can resurrect yourself again and again and again. So go after the things you want, but always keep an open mind, because maybe there's something even better, especially when you're going after something very specific. Maybe you can totally have that, especially the element of what it stands for. Just thinking in my life, different people I had crushes on or dated, I had to have that person at that specific time. But now I look back, and I'm so glad I'm not with that person and I'm with who I am with. Sometimes I even wondered, did Neville know the law when he was with his first wife? Would he have revised her or the marriage? What made him discard the vessel and take another? I guess when the feeling's so strong you don't even have to ask, then you know. So if there's a call within that's so strong it doesn't go away, honor it. Don't worry of any mistakes, because either it's the old programming phasing out, but it also helped give birth to something new and better. And sometimes through what seems to be destruction is the bridge that makes way for all that you truly want to be on your wildest dreams. Just like when Neville wanted to get a better job, and all of a sudden he was released from his job. But he went with it, and great things opened up. He became his own boss. Eventually he went from being so poor that he could have a lovely home in Los Angeles. He could keep his wife as a housewife, and have whatever staff he wished for, even have a seamstress to custom make her clothing. So today at breakfast, I realized why I couldn't quite finish my thoughts on this. I made some miso soup for me and my husband for breakfast. I had filled his cup all the way to the top. As he put his spoon in, he said, "Oh, don't fill it so high next time, it's overflowing and spilling out." And it reminded me of the dream I had a couple nights ago, of how I filled the big pot with too much oil. At first thinking abundance is wonderful, but seeing the greater picture, balance would be best. And even now it makes me think, what would be the perfect amount of money, wealth, abundance to manifest? Is it really 100 million net USD or more? 50? 25? Sometimes one wants to hold on to so much the specifics, and that can be fine and totally work out. But when you're uncertain or it flip-flops, start to focus in on the essence of what you want, the relief, the freedom, the peace and joy. How would it be to have profound eternal peace and joy within your consciousness, and a life reflecting that, everything taken care of, not a trick missed, perfect grace. Can you let this grace just shower down upon you, and cleanse you of all the limitations, all the fears and anxieties, all the hungry ghosts that make you endlessly desire. Can you let this pure grace that has everything beyond words pour down on you and cleanse you, every cell of your body, every aspect of your beingness, all the different areas that you hold dear to you, your whole beingness? And can you feel yourself filled with this perfect grace that contains everything beyond words? All the peace and joy you've ever felt, now within you. Can you feel yourself glowing completely with this perfect grace? And now can you see reflected all around you, everywhere, within creation and even outside of creation, this illuminating grace is perfectly reflected everywhere. And so it is. It is done. And if you ever feel to revisit this feeling, should you forget, it's always here for you. It's yours for the taking.